Welcome back guys. The main feature of Nitec's Optiscaler mod is to replace DLSS upscaler with XeSS or FSR upscaler. This mod is completely free. It is also included with DLSS enabler. A week ago it was updated. Experimental support for frame generation has been added to it. This is AMD's FSR 3.1 frame generation that we are talking about. As the mod's frame generation support is in experimental phase, in most of the games, HUD elements will flicker after enabling frame generation, but the frame generation effect should work properly. In this video, I'll be showing you the setup process for this mod in Horizon Zero Dawn and Silent Hill 2 Remake. At the moment, I'm not aware of any title other than Horizon Zero Dawn that works properly with this mod, that is, frame generation effect working properly without the game's HUD elements flickering. Things may change in the future. I won't be going into too much technical details about how the mod's frame generation effect works. It's a complex process. What you need to know is that this mod is compatible with any title that supports DLSS upscaler and DirectX 12 mode. The game does not need to support DLSS frame generation. This mod does not replace DLSS frame generation with FSR frame generation. This method is used by Newcomb 9's mod. The best part is, this mod is compatible with all GPUs, Intel, Nvidia or AMD. It does not matter. I'll be installing the mod on my Rog Ally that comes with AMD's Radeon 780M GPU. This is the update log for the mod, version 0.7, preview 9, that added frame generation settings. In order to enable frame generation, we just need to open the mods menu by pressing the insert keyboard key and then enable this setting, frame generation. That's it. The process is that simple. Nitec has provided frame generation hotfix setting, but at the moment this setting does not work properly. If you enable it, the setting will just disable frame generation effect. You'll be seeing a high FPS count, almost twice that of the base FPS, but the frame generation effect won't be working. Game won't be running smoothly. Frame generation allow async setting. This helps in smoothing out the performance in case some stutters occur after enabling frame generation. Frame generation debug view, very important. After enabling this setting, you'll see something like this on the display. In the bottom middle image, there shouldn't be any game HUD elements visible like this. If the HUD elements are visible in this image, then these HUD elements will flicker when you enable frame generation. Last setting, frame generation only generated, FPS will get halved. This is for debug purposes. So just download the build. I'll give its link in the description. Expand asset section. Click on the .7z link. Installation instructions have been provided on Optiscaler's GitHub page. I'll give its link in the description. If you have an RTX based GPU, you can skip the first two steps. Directly jump to the third step. Extract Optiscaler Mod's content. Rename nvngx.dll file to txgi.dll file. Place the mods files in the game's install directory where the game's exe file is present. First, I'll show you the process for Horizon Zero Dawn. This game does not support any form of frame generation, but it does support DLSS upscaler. As Rog Ally has an AMD based GPU, we need to work with nvngx.dll file. So first, just download the latest DLL version of DLSS upscaler. Can be downloaded from TechPower's website. I'll give its link in the description. Click on download here. Select any server. These are the two archive files that I just downloaded. They will be present in the downloads directory of your PC. I have transferred them to another folder, named it as Optiscaler FG. Does not matter. You can name the folder anything you want. First, extract the contents of Optiscaler mod. Open it. Copy all of the files and folders here. Go back. Paste. Now extract DLSS upscaler's DLL file. Open the zip file. Copy. Go back. Now we need to change the name of nvngx.dll file. Change its name to txgi. Now we need to change the name of nvngx_dls file. Rename it to nvngx. Select these files, nvngx.dll, txgi.dll, nvngx.ini, two AMD DLL files and libxess.dll file. Copy them. Open Horizon Zero Dawn's install directory. Select the game in your library. Manage, browse local file. Paste all of the files here. See, now we want the game to load up our custom nvngx.dll file, so we need to execute one registry file that comes included with Optiscaler Mod. Open DLSS overrides folder, execute this registry file, enable signature override, run. Yes, okay, that's it, we are ready to run the game. I have set the UMA buffer size to 7 GB. My ILS running on BIOS version 441 using a 25 watts manual profile, 900p resolution, CPU boost disabled. Now a third party overlay like MSI Afterburner can cause the game to crash with Optiscaler Mod enabled. So I'll be using Lens overlay, Lens settings for the game, FreeSync and VSync enabled, anti-lag setting enabled. If the mod is working properly, you should be able to access DLSS setting from the in-game setting even without an RTX GPU. See, 900p resolution, DLSS upscaler quality set to quality, display mode full screen, 120Hz refresh rate, using the game's favor quality preset. Now I'll open Optiscaler's menu, press the insert keyboard key. There you go. Okay, text is a bit small, let me zoom in. You can switch among the different upscalers using this drop down bar. XeSS is selected here. I'll just switch to FSR 3.1. Apply. Frame generation can be enabled from here. Disable for the time being. Save INI. Close. Start the game. There is Aloy. I'm in the town of Kaja, very demanding area. Here FPS is close to 50. I'll just enable frame generation now. Pause the game, press the insert key, enable frame generation, save INI, close, resume the game. Yeah, FPS increased to around 80. Check out the added amount of smoothness. Frame generation is definitely working. Can even see the duplicated frames around the left edge of the display, common FSR3 artifact. Input delay is not a problem as the base FPS was on the higher side, 50 to 60. And here's the best part, game's HUD elements are not flickering. See, really impressed by the mod's performance. You can even change the upscaler and switch to XeSS, FSR 3. Apply, upscaler changed, resume the game. Yeah, this is XeSS upscaler. Changing upscalers is that easy. Okay, now I'll test the other settings of the mod. Frame generation related settings. Let's open the debug view. FG debug view. As you can see in the bottom middle image, no HUD elements are visible. This is why the game's HUD elements are not flickering with the frame generation effect enabled. This is how debug view works. Disable it. Now if you enable frame generation HUD fix setting, not required in this game, frame generation effect will stop working. See, that smoothness is gone, but look at the FPS count, it's still on the higher side. Some people will think frame generation is still working, but that's not the case. It's not working. We have seen something similar happening in Duke FCS mod. In some games, FPS value is twice that of the base FPS, but frame generation effect is not working. Now I'll be testing the mod in Silent Hill 2 Remake. This game does not support FSR 3 officially. Now it uses Unreal Engine 5. FSR 3 plugin is integrated into it. Technically you can enable frame generation by tweaking the game's engine.ini file, but the point is frame generation setting cannot be accessed from the game settings. The setup process is exactly the same for Silent Hill 2. We just need to place the mod files in a different directory. Copy the mod files first. Select the same files as before. Copy them. Now you don't need to execute the registry file again, only need to execute it once on your PC. If you update your GPU driver, then you will be required to execute the registry file again. Open the game's install directory. Open sh proto folder, open binaries folder, open bin64 folder, paste the mod files here, replace. Make sure the game is running in DirectX 12 mode. This game also supports DirectX 11 mode. Adrenaline settings for the game, FreeSync and VSync enable, anti-lag setting enable. Lighting in this game is broken on Rog Ally when running the game in DirectX 12 mode. In order to fix the lighting, you need to enable ray tracing, which kills the performance, causes excessive stuttering. 720p resolution ray tracing enabled, VSync off, DLSS setting enabled, mod is working using its quality preset, graphics preset set to low. Open Optiscaler menu, press the insert keyboard key. Upscaler set to XeSS version 1.3.1. Frame generation effect disable for the time being. Check out the base performance. There's James. I'm in the town of Silent Hill. Here FPS is close to 40. Check out the input response. No frame generation. I'll just enable it now. On, save INI, close. Back to the game. FPS increased to around 80, 70 to 80 FPS. Check out the added amount of smoothness. Yeah, frame generation is definitely working. Can observe a screen tearing like effect around the left and right edges of the display. Common FSR 3 artifact. This game does not have many HUD elements on the display, so flickering of HUD elements is not a big problem, but it is present. Let me just show you this. There's the HUD element. See, it flickers when I move the camera around. You'll face this problem in most of the games at the moment. I'll just enable hotfix setting. It's not going to work. If it were working properly, this flickering would have been fixed. Enabled. Save INI. HUD element is not flickering, but frame generation effect has stopped working. That choppiness is back again. FPS dropped to 40. So this is the problem. I'll just enable debug view. First disable hotfix setting. Debug view enabled. I'll enable the HUD element. See, it's showing up here. This is why the HUD element is flickering when we enable frame generation. We still have many games in which the HUD elements flicker after enabling frame generation. These games still haven't been fixed. For example, Dying Light 2 and Plague Tale Requiem. If frame generation hotfix setting of this mod gets implemented properly, these games may get fixed. Hopefully this happens soon. That's it for the video, guys. I hope you found it useful. Thanks for watching and have a nice day.